Goths and 22 Norsemen upon this journey of acquisition from Finland far to the west. We had camped by 2 shelters, 1 day's journey north from the stone. We were out fishing one day. After we came home, we found 10 men red with blood and dead. Ave Maria, save us from evil. There are 10 men by the inland sea to look after our ships, 14 days' journey from this island. Year 1362.
In nomine Patri, et Spiri, et Filii Sancti.
Midway up his unyielding course sat Arsisyphus, his back against the load.
Halting a moment from his task of doom. Why was I chosen for this hateful task?
Fantastically future, which the gods lay on their victim for their own disport.
Always with the dramatics.
What do you expect from those 3? It never changes.
That idiot Vogelblad is always pressing his ear against the veil that stands between our netherworld and the land of the living.
I know, and he's always trying to tell us how badly we treated the poor old family. He thinks he can judge us just because he used to be a Lutheran pastor in Sweden.
Yeah, but with the way he lays on the guilt, you'd think he was Catholic.
Vogelblad cleans that information he can from the living, and finding methods they are using to authenticate the stone.
Ah!
You swore you would never use that word again.
Why can't those goody-goodies just leave us alone?
I wish we could just rebury that wretched rock. It started this whole mess.
We didn't know.
It can't be so.
Just let it be.
No need to say.
It's quite not true.
Get sold real soon.
We didn't know.
It can't be so.
Just let it be.
No need to say.
It's quite not true.
Get sold real soon.
In the dark of the veil, there is no need to see. Let the truth stay buried, but put some mystery.
Stafina.
Scheiße.
Assume positions.
This was nearly, it was colored by Goths and Norwegians.
Girl alive, and confusion.
We agreed to leave Amanda out of this whole thing.
Oh yeah, what was
I
that?
believe it was after yesterday's rumble.
Yes, it was.
Fine, whatever.
Stolen markings from the Knights Templar.
You are stone if you think they would drop. They faced religious persecution.
Not to mention the plague.
Which would like you three.
Be quite a drag.
The Swedes and Norwegians never got along.
Anyone Olaf's homeland trusted his song. Sven, I told you not to lend him your warm.
Enough of this. I have an eternal migraine from this constant confrontation.
What a noisy fright.
I think his whistle's on too tight.
You should have known.
It can't be so.
Can't let it be.
No need to see.
Sing a new tune.
Get old real soon.
You should have known.
It can't be so.
Can't let it be.
No need to
strange place. Sometimes we see each other, most times not, but I feel them. Sometimes I even know when my papa is near, and another who has become dear to me, but he still walks in the land of the living. I loved and respected my papa, Olaf Ohman. He was a good man, an honorable man. I was only 8 years old when my father and brothers discovered the stone. Our whole family was excited and amazed that we found this ancient artifact. But no one believed that it was real. Experts didn't believe that Papa found it, much less that Norsemen buried it on that hill. My papa died in 1935. 14 years later, I became a widow and moved back to my father's farm to live with my brothers. I was finally back in the place that brought me so much joy. Then, Johan Holvik happened. Scattered debris in a world that dissolved more each day. I heard my father's voice calling to me in the distance, never able to reach him and tell him how sorry I was. Oh, to be a young child on this farm again, when we thought the future would be kind to us. We didn't know the loneliness of the night and the burden of that stone.
That stone didn't need to be a burden, my dear. I told you and your mother dead years ago. You'd only told the truth about that hoax that your father committed. You wouldn't be so weary.
Who is that? I can't see you.
It is I, your old friend, Johan Holvik.
No, it can't be.
No need to be afraid, my dear. We are old friends.
You were never my friend. I've known for a long time you were here with me in the netherworld, but I've always run away when I felt you near. You caught me off guard while I sang.
And you have a beautiful voice, my dear. You should have sung with my band when we were among the living. Oh, and by the way, thank you for calling me a wise sage.
You might want to loosen that whistle a bit. I haven't called you a sage in a long time. What comes to mind now is an image of the offspring of a cockroach and a weasel.
Come. I'm not so bad. I love music, like you, and, well, look at all my medals. Ye gods, why do you dwell on that silly stone? Don't you folks care? I've done so much to try to change the impression of your father, both here and in Europe. But your parent attitude toward me makes it very difficult. Well, that and the fact that I'm dead.
Yes, you changed the impression people had of my father, all right. Most went from believing the stone was real to believing it a hoax. You destroyed my father's reputation with your hearsay and crazy theories, and your pen.
Your father did it. If he had not been so intense,
Stop. Don't speak of my father again. You're not half the man he was. You're not fit to walk in his shadow.
It's admirable that you feel that way, sweet Amanda.
I am not your sweet Amanda. My name is Amanda, the daughter of Olaf Ohman. I am no longer the naive, vulnerable woman you took advantage of and manipulated. You're just a small-time academic.
You are upset. Do you still blame me that you hanged yourself in your father's farmhouse?
I killed myself because I realized I had become one of your many tools to destroy my father's character. I gave you those papers because I believed you when you said you would make the scholars believe Papa a genius. Maybe I did it because I wanted you to be my friend. You were charming. I was lonely. My brothers were furious I gave you those papers.
That's because they knew the truth would finally be known.
No, they knew you would twist Papa's papers to your own ends, and they were right. We didn't have a chance. And the world has walked down your road of deception for so long they can't find their way back to the truth even in this age. But the tide is changing. Even now, my connection with Brian Storm grows stronger.
Now who's deceiving whom? Brian Storm believes his stone is their hoax. They make sure of it.
Believe what you want, Johann. I will find my father in the shadow world, and together we will walk out of this place when he's been vindicated. You may stay and wallow in your hate.
Poor sweet girl. She's obviously in aware of our plans to keep her and her father back here in the netherworld with us. I'm so clever. This is the reason that I have all the medals. And her father? Only shame.
Since the dawn of humans, we have left our imprint behind us, buried deep and forgotten in stone monuments, decaying documents, and oral legends. This is the story of a simple Swedish immigrant farmer and his discovery of a stone covered in runes, which he claimed was a 14th century artifact. This discovery severely impacted his family and all those who were pulled into its circle. But is it a real 14th century artifact, or is it one of the most successful hoaxes in history? Watch this story, and you decide. All right, that's a wrap for now, Gunter. Why don't you head back to the hotel, and we'll finish up in the morning.
You really don't believe in the story, do you, Brian?
Of course I don't. The name of the show is Hoaxbusters, after all. I'm a cynic, a scientist. And really, what are the chances that this Swedish farmer discovered a runestone left here by Templars in the middle of North America more than 100 years before Columbus discovered islands in the Caribbean? Do you believe it's real?
Well, at the risk of losing my job, yes. You know, I grew up around here. My grandparents were friends with Olaf Ohman. They said that family went through hell because of that stone. Geez, Brian, isn't there anything you can relate to in this sad story?
I need to find a new camera operator, one who doesn't have a heart. Yes, I suppose I can relate to Olaf's daughter, Amanda. She was an innocent party in this drama.
Oh, yes, she's the one who hanged herself in this very farmhouse in the spring of 1951.
Right. She gave her father's notebooks to Professor Johann Holvik, thinking he was going to help her. But he didn't. Anyway, now it's my job to prove that Olaf carved the message in the stone.
That doesn't make any sense. How can you believe that?
Well, it doesn't matter what I believe. I have a cynical audience to cater to. And where would we cynics and scholars be without our audience? No. Come on, you guys gotta make a living. Enough of this, though. I'm just gonna make a few notes here. You head on back to the hotel. I'll meet you in the morning for breakfast. Is it true or is it not? The more I search, the more questions I've got. For 100 years, wise men have studied that stone. Then why do I feel so all alone?
Some say true, some say not. The unbelievers are a frivolous lot. Are the wise really wise, or are they burdened with arrogant lies?
I stand here in your house, Olaf. Help me find the truth. Perhaps a fool in love is what I am, for I'm a lover of truth, and I hate the scam. I carry on this quest, this battle, not just for a stone, but for your daughter, Amanda, so she won't stand alone. In this very house she took her life, because of all the trouble, all the strife. She was trusting, vulnerable,
Ohman Stone.
Who needs my help? Come out of the shadows.
Okie dokie. I am Olaf Ohman, of course.
Hey, yeah, right, pal. That is not a bad mask, though. That looks pretty... Oh, come on, stop. A ghost!
Calm down, young man. We're not here to hurt you. In fact, we were thinking that you were just the fella to help us out get out of this netherworld.
Who's we?
Allow me to introduce you. Come on out, the boys. First, we have, on my side, the favor of the stone, Halvor Holden, first champion of the stone and author of many books on the Vikings. Then we have Newton Mitchell, former state of Minnesota geologist. And last but not least, my old friend Sven Fogelblad, former teacher, Luther pastor, and my mentor indeed. On the other side, against the stone, we have Eric Waldron, author of the book Visita Runestone, Mystery Solved. And then we have Theodore Blagan, former professor of history from the University of Minnesota. And of course, Johan Borvig, former professor of Norwegian and band director from Concordia College.
Listen, I don't know if this is a dream or if somebody's punking me or what, but if this is real, well, this is amazing! Oh my gosh, I've got so many questions, and oh, doggone it, where'd I put my phone? I gotta get some selfies with you guys!
There'll be time for your questions later, young man, but your fancy phone won't work here. Only you can see us. Now we gotta get this train rolling, because we don't have much time to prove the truth, so we can leave the netherworld and move on to Valhalla.
Yes, and I see friend Brian Storm is here. Come, join us.
That's who really heals there, Professor. You ain't leading your band now.
But I've a whistle and a stick.
Yeah, whatever you need, babe. So, we're gonna get this thing rolling now. First, we're gonna talk about the history related to this here stone. Then we're gonna talk about the scientific analysis of the stone itself. And then finally, we're gonna talk about the runic characters that were carved into that stone. Okay? Now, Brian, let me explain something to you. Time moves very strangely here in the netherworld, okay? Though this debate may take hours or maybe even days, it's going to seem very brief to you, okay? So come over here, sit down. There we are. Relax, sit, and behold. Gentlemen, are you ready to rumble?
To accept the possibility that Norsemen were in the middle of North America, we must first understand the historical context in which this journey took place. I will begin by reading one sentence from the stone. 8 Goths and 22 Norwegians on a journey of acquisition from Vinland, very far west. In 1898, when the Kensington runestone was discovered, Vinland was but a myth. But in 1958, the Vinland map was found in an old manuscript at Yale University, and shortly thereafter, the settlement at Lonsdale Meadows was discovered in Newfoundland. These two discoveries made the myth a reality. Now, the last sentence on the stone says, AVM, save us from evil, which means Ave Maria, save us from evil. This means that they were likely Catholic.
Boo!
And that a Cistercian monk was probably with them. Many of them may even have been Knights Templar. Why? In 1307, King Philip of France ambushed many of the Templar Knights. Those that remained sought refuge in other European countries. And then there was the Black Plague. The second wave, which hit in 1361 and lasted until 1363, is at the exact time of the journey. Remember, the stone states 1362. This historical context gives us their motivation. They were seeking a place where they could live without persecution, and they were escaping the Black Plague. This is my theory.
Ah, that is nonsense. He can't prove any of this. It is his theory. Yeah, so tell me, Why would they go all the way to central Minnesota? And how would they ever find that stone again?
You appear to be the eternal skeptic. You also appear to know something about everything related to the Vikings and Norse. What was your area of expertise while you walked the earth?
Well, I had a PhD in Scandinavian and Germanic languages from the University of Chicago, and I wrote the book on the Kensington Restone.
A book filled with biased opinions. This doesn't make you an expert in history, cartography, or runology. The Goths and Templars knew that the earth was round. In fact, they likely plotted the location of the stone. If you draw a line through two keystones and the Newport Tower in Rhode Island, it intersects exactly with Kensington, Minnesota.
Coincidence. Are you telling me that they intentionally went to that spot? For what reason?
Forgotten my theory already, Walgren? Typical of you skeptics. Their intent was a land claim at the Continental Divide near the headwaters of three very important watersheds. They bore holes into three boulders near the Ohman farm so that they could find the place again. But they never returned because the Black Plague had killed so many people, they didn't have the resources to go back.
That's right.
Dr. Winchell.
The stone was found in 1898 by Olaf and his son. Both signed affidavits stating that the aspen tree it was found under had a diameter of 8 to 10 inches. Two of Olaf's neighbors also signed affidavits saying that they saw the stone in the root system of the aspen tree.
Right.
Now, an aspen tree of that size would be 25 to 30 years old.
Yeah.
It would have been a mere sapling in 1870. Olaf didn't immigrate to America until 1890, a full 20 years later. It would be impossible to place a stone like this underneath aspen tree roots because they're shallow, thick, and tough.
Kind of like old man.
Also, aspen tree roots, when they touch rocks, they leach acid into these rocks. Later on, this shows up as lines in the rocks.
Okay. I will yield to your authority on the subject of, shall we say, dropping acid. But tell me this. How can the symbols carved into the stone be so much lighter in color than the stone itself?
Yeah.
The lighter colors exist because Olaf scratched them off with a nail so he could read them better. Fortunately, he didn't clean them all out. This left the pyrite evidence that proves Olaf didn't carve the stone.
That's right, you.
Pyrite? You mean fool's gold, right? For two old fools?
All stones of this nature have iron in them called pyrite. You cut or scratch the stone, it immediately starts to rust. But when the stone was found, it was put in Olaf's granary, protected from the elements. So there should have been only minimal rusting and deterioration of the pyrite. There was no pyrite found by me on this stone when I examined it in 1910, or when geologist Scott Wolter examined it under an electron microscope 100 years later.
That's right, you.
Scott Wolter also found headstones that still had their pyrite on them after 200 years. Since this stone does not, it is definitive proof that the carving, the message on this stone, is at least 200 years old.
Yeah, that's right.
What about the runes on the stone?
I can answer that. First, notice the date on the stone, which states clearly 1362. Now, if you look at all the characters on this stone, you'll find two that have lines that shouldn't be there, and one that has a punch on its line. Now, if you take these and put them into the Easter dating table, the number that is derived is 1362. Now, this dotted R also was only used in the island of Gotland until the late 1300s. This dotted R is definitive proof that this stone is a genuine 14th century artifact.
That's right.
Like I've always said, Olaf Ohman is a genius. He got those brick symbols out of the Rotsander book that rebel Vogelblad bequeathed him.
Yeah.
The Rosander book only accounts for a small portion of what appears on the stone. Less than 50% of the runes and less than 10% of the words.
That's right. Yeah.
All of my theories are based on careful analysis. My colleague, Eric Bolte of Denmark, was a respected runologist, and he said, and I quote, "It is suspect in every detail."
He also said, and I quote, "There is only one certainty about the stone, and that it has not been proven false, nor has it been proven genuine."
That's right.
What do we know in a spoken language of the 14th century?
Yeah.
Enough! Do you really expect the world to believe this ignorant speed farmer from the 14th century artifact on his farm by chance? Who was he? Nothing.
Ever hear the Dead Sea Scrolls, Professor? They were accidentally found by a Bedouin shepherd in Israel in a cave. And how about that Rosetta Stone?
It doesn't matter about your modern science. It doesn't matter about your Easter table and your dotted R. Why? Because we are the scholars and you are nothing. It doesn't matter what the truth is. What matters is what we tell them the truth is. Don't you know this by now? Oh, most have come to live in my house of deception and lies.
I've built a house of deception and lies. I swat the ignorant as if they were flies. It took me years, but I finally won. I killed them easier. I killed them easier. Than if I had a gun. Than if I had a gun. Ghosts of the past, they rattle my door at the house I built on academic lore. I didn't care who I hurt in my quest, for I always thought that I knew best. I thought that I knew best. I thought that I knew best. Oh, how I went after that speed, and soon other scholars, they followed my lead. That ignorant farmer never had a chance, for he and his daughter tasted my bitter land. House of deception and lies, I swore the ignorant as if they were flies.
What? No! You can't kill him! He's already dead!
What did I say?
That man, he makes me so damned angry. He's like a sorcerer who conjures up all these crazy theories out of that stone. And then he casts a spell on all the scholars and reporters, making them believe him. One reporter even said that Hovig's most important discovery was from a statement made by the local postmaster, who said that Sven and I wanted to fool the learned. Ridiculous. That man made that statement 50 years after I found that stone. Long after I was dead and
unable to defend myself. And then he recanted it. My intention was never to fool the learned. My only interest was in questioning the learned and those in authority. I never came to this country to fool anyone. I came to this country to farm and to make a living and to raise a family. The only one who did any fooling at all was Johann Horvik, and he was very good at that. But this took a toll on me and my family over the years. I know I'm grim of face. It was not always so. Passing of the years, the burdens a man bears, can suck the joy of life right out of a man, turning his heart as hard as stone.
and to apologize to you for giving your notebooks over to Professor Holbeck.
Oh no, Mandy, it is I who should apologize to you. As soon as I found that stone, I should have known it was a bad omen and buried it.
But Papa, how then will the living know about those that came to this land in 1362?
What difference would it make? That stone was nothing but trouble for our family. It was a burden on all of us.
Would Master Fogelblad have buried the stone again?
Yes, Sven Fogelblad, that, my dear. Oh, I haven't seen you since you were a child.
It is so good to see you again, Master Fogelblad.
Please, I think you can call me Sven.
Is no one going to introduce me?
I'm sorry, Brian. This is my daughter, Amanda.
But how? Never mind.
I sense your confusion, Mr. Storm. Brian, I was drawn to this edge of the netherworld by your love and anguish.
Amanda, you asked if I would have buried the stone. I was already dead when Olaf found it, but I would have done exactly as he had. What we have to do now is win this debate so we can move on. Don't let Holbeck's personal attack throw you off. We've got him on the run.
You're right, Sven. Let's go set them straight.
May I have a moment to speak with Amanda?
Yes, but don't delay, Brian Storm. We need you.
Amanda, how is it that you know me? I mean, you were in the netherworld before I was born.
It's strange. Sometimes we pick up things that go on here with the living. It's like a radio broadcast. Sometimes when the conditions are just right, the signal is clear. Often it is not.
Well, if you know me, then you know I'm a man of science. And this, well, what's happening is magic to me. I still don't know if it's a dream or not. I've got so many questions for you.
I assume you are wondering about my experiences with Professor Holbeck. I have deep regret for turning my father's notebooks over to him. I've spent more years in the netherworld than I lived on Earth, and my guilt for giving Holbeck my father's notebooks holds me here. I wish I had never met Johann Holbeck. Why was I so trusting?
You had no chance against a man like that. I've always wanted to know what you went through the final months of your life. No one seems to know.
I was a widow when I met him, living back at my father's farm with my brothers. Holbeck was a professor, and I guess I was impressed by that. He told me he wanted Papa's notebooks to show to scholars around the world and prove that Papa was a genius.
But that's not what happened, is it?
No. He took Papa's papers and twisted his words. He said that Papa and Sven practiced writing the runes on paper, and then they carved them into the stone. He said that Papa was a follower of Eastern mystery cults, just because he had a picture of the Buddha. Then he said that the AVM on the stone was really AUM. Lies! He even convinced a reporter from the Tribune that these were facts. All our neighbors read this. It ruined my father's reputation. My brothers were furious at Holbeck, and at me for being so trusting. I saw only one way out. End my pain and sacrifice myself for the shame I brought our family name. I wish I could have gone back to the time on the farm when we were happy, before we knew the loneliness of the night and the burden of the stone.
Let me help you carry that weight, Amanda.
Why would you do that?
Because I now believe your father's story, and that neither Sven nor he could have committed any hoax. Well, it's just not the kind of men they were. They are. But sometimes men compromise what they believe and value in order to make a profit. That's what happened to me. And there's more.
Yes?
I think I fell in love with you, Amanda. I saw pictures of you from when you were young, and you were so beautiful. And I felt so bad for what you went through.
Brian,
Yes?
I saw you from the other side. I fell in love with you also.
This is all magic, now I know it's true. I'm staring at the moon, and I remember looking at these stars and thinking of you.
I wanted to be in your arms and be with you, but you were on the other
My from the netherworld. Since I saw your face, my head has whirled. How could I love you now? It should have been long ago. Let me take your hand, if I may be so bold. I won't let go. I will hold you in my world. The magic of this night shall shed a bright light on the truth for all to see. Will we see the stars when the night is over? Will we still hear the song in our hearts? We won't close our eyes. The stars will be our guide, surely on this shining night. The magic will abide, and our hearts will heal, and our hearts will be whole. Yes, our hearts will be
Gentlemen, we must strategize about the next phase of our operation. We are not out of ammunition yet. Meanwhile, this is all strictly watermelon oats.
My German's a little hazy. What did he just say?
Oh, that wasn't German, that was Norwegian. He just acts like a little Nazi.
For God's sake, has this been the problem all along?
What do you mean?
Well, you is what I mean. You never approached this event with an open mind decades ago. You created these wild speculations, and we listened to you. It's all rather incestuous in the end, creating sort of a monster of theory upon theory, a monster that swallowed Olaf Ohman and his family whole.
It's too late for you to change your mind now, Blake.
No, it's not. I mean, that's why we're here, right? I, for one, am recanting all I wrote on the subject because, well, so much of it was based on your, let's face it, speculations. Walgren and I were fools, and I, for one, am joining their side on this issue. You were wrong, Johann. You were wrong.
They were con men.
Yeah, that rebel Fogelbot. He was the one that taught Ohman how to write those runes in the stones. He's the one.
Fogelbot, you mean?
Yeah.
A man who spent his final years walking the countryside to teach children in exchange for food, shelter, a few pennies. A man who was a follower of Sweden's Plato. I mean, a man who could even teach Olaf Ohman about the Greek philosophers and the Enlightenment. And these are the type of men you think would try to con the public?
Thank you for that, Mr. Blegan. I
Yes.
know that was hard for you.
Sure, Steph. Olaf. I can't begin to tell you, Olaf, how sorry I am for building on these professors' theories. You did what we were supposed to do all along. As Plato did, you questioned authority.
Accept your apology, Mr. Blagan. I'm just glad you're now on our side. And now I think we should... Wait, what? Oh, gentlemen, I have just been given great news from on high. Because of Brian's love for Amanda, and because now he accepts the truth of our argument, we have been given approval to move on to Valhalla! Valhalla! Gentlemen, this brings me great joy. Shall we?
Yeah!
Kick it, Sven!
now, you point fingers at my friends when I was not dead. Say niggas murdered the fool, and learned and causing some dread. I think it's time you take off that scholarly guise. Stop your silly theories and judging my guys. You blame me for writing the message for the stone, but recent finds have cleared me that is widely known. Leave your hate baggage at the netherworld door. Come on now, boys, all your talk has become a big bore. Take it all off.
Got my homies back with me, so my feet so casually. Johan, your talk is full of air. Whiskey like a little bear. Stand here, he's a good man. He ain't got his feet in the sand. He walking. Look at him go. He's so good he even steals the show.
I'm dead but fighting upward, marching with my band. I hold my baton upward and I wave it with my hand. No stone is gonna stop me, you never had a chance. I'm here in my uniform, a perfect marching stance.
Right now, through this door. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. Sven, Amanda, and I, we will go through another door. This door here. And you, Wardgren and Horvik, you have been bound to the deepest, darkest part of the netherworld. Oh, look. They come.
Kom med oss, Olaf Ohman. Amanda og Sven. Når stadfast Schwarber. Du kan lama har nettopp. Der med oss nu, vi går til den ballon.
Now you know the truth. Be a good farmer now and spread the seeds of truth wherever you go. Farewell, my friend.
do our little show. I still appreciate a review at the fringe.festival.org website, even though it's the end of the Fringe. Good or bad, give us some feedback, because we're planning on turning this from a one-act play to a two-act musical at some point. So please give us any feedback that you have.
It was fabulous.
Thank you. Well, that's my brother up there. If you want to give us some immediate feedback and buy us a beer, we're going to be at the German restaurant Herkimer right one block south. So thanks again for coming, everyone.